welcome to another episode of the God is a Geek podcast. My name's Chris White, and joining me is Mr. Adam Cook. How are you, mate?
Hello, Chris.
Oh, he's not very well, guys. It's not.
Can we do it over? Hang on a sec. Hello, Chris. I'm not very well. Nanny's not very well.
Oh,
I'm
what's
alright.
wrong? What's wrong?
I've just got a cold, mate. You know, we soldier on. We're brave warriors into the new frontier of video gaming. And
to bring all you people listening the best video game podcast ever.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit irritable because of the cold, but you know, I don't know. Because Gary's here. Gary's all right. You know, Gary's going to bring the positivity right up.
Oh,
he is.
Yeah,
he is.
For a change,
Hello,
I'll
Gary,
be the positive
mate.
one.
Yeah.
How's it going, Mum?
Good. Better than Adam, apparently.
Good. Yeah, there you go. Mr. Positive. There we are.
It's I'm wonderful. The world's a beautiful place. How about that?
It is.
Do you know what? It is. You just have to look for it in the right places.
Oh, okay.
And some of those places are on a lovely green, grassy pitch where a wonderful sport is played, and that sport is football. Fucking what the fuck? FIFA 18,
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk FIFA because I mean,
let's.
I'm kind of keen to hear what it's like compared to last year's.
Well, I mean, it's still football, Chris. I'm not, you know. Again, I should apologise for the snippiness. That was perhaps a little uncalled for. So I really, really didn't like FIFA last year. I don't think I made any secret about that. Like, I really thought PES was by miles superior. And fuck it, we're less than 2 minutes in, and I've just compared the two. I was not going to do that, and I deliberately didn't do that in the review, and I've done it within 2 minutes of being on the podcast. My field right now, my football field, has basically a dog's ran on and done a big shit on it. That's what's happened.
The metaphor.
Yeah. What do you want to know about FIFA? Because
I want to know. Firstly, I'd like to talk about the journey.
Sure. Right.
Because that was the mode they introduced last year, and it was it was all right. It was good for what it was. Felt a bit empty, to be fair, especially after like playing long shot from NFL. Just throwing this out there. There's an interview with two of the main stars on our God is a Geek website. You can go and visit that on godsgeek.com right now. But FIFA 18, how has the story improved? Has it improved? It's still,
it's still
what have they added to it?
Well, it's still a fairly hefty thing. I think what they've done is they've tried to make the choices matter, but they never do because it's a video game. God, I am negative. They've got obviously more stars, some of whom shouldn't be doing voiceover work. Let's be completely honest. Like just because someone's famous doesn't mean they can act.
Well, Harry Kane was tossed last year as well. So
yeah, I mean, there's some real bad ones, but look, it's kind of what it was before, but a little bit expanded. I don't want to go into too much detail because it is spoilery. It is it's ridiculous to say about a football game, but it's got spoilery. It's an expansion upon what happened last year, and it's a continuation, and it does grab you, like it does make you want to know more. Like they'll keep doing this now, and I'm glad they will keep doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they should do it. It's interesting. It's different. I mean, to say that everyone's doing it now, but like it is that it's different, and I really like it. I think it's.
Well,
I know we're going to talk about NBA 2K18, but I want to compare them as well because I think you have to give a shit about the sport and the kind because. Sports are a little bit tribal at times, and like there are certain aspects to them. Like if you compare the story mode of FIFA and NBA 2K18, like the language used, the slang used, like they can seem a little bit silly. It's like when you hear a manager or a player talk on real football about like their gaffer, and it kind of makes you wince because nobody really talks like that. But then there is a real person really talking like that, and it's kind of that same thing. So you have to be willing to go on the the journey, or it won't work, and I think if you're not willing to suspend that sort of not belief, but it doesn't work otherwise.
Yeah. What's the the bread and butter, the kind of the gameplay like? Because obviously last year it was it was a bit.
You enjoyed it. You can say you enjoyed it. It's fine. We were allowed to have different opinions. I just didn't like how last year's felt. I didn't like anything about how last year's felt. And there are still problems, I'd say legacy problems at this point with FIFA that I don't know why they're not fixing, unless they perhaps can't easily. Like, I still feel like most of FIFA is over animated, and to those not sure listening, what I mean by that, like, they have done more with this year than I've ever seen them do. That now you're not locked into things where you could almost you anticipate something, so you sort of hit the action you want to do before the ball gets there, and you're kind of locked into it. Now you can pull out of animations. You can change where you're dribbling. You can change inertia of your player far better. But there are still occasions where it just slightly feels just a touch over animated. What they've improved, I think, the liveliness of the game, and I find it much faster FIFA this year. But also, you can miss-hit a pass. Do you know what I mean by that?
Yes. So it's a bit more kind of human.
Well, I know it sounds really silly, in it's not real. It's a video game simulation of football, but I kind of want to be able to miss a pass. I want to be able to overhit a pass, and I don't want every through ball that I enact to get to the target every single time, because what's the point? Like, I'm not 10 years old. I don't want to just win 15-0 every game. I want an entertaining match. It's like if you're playing a shooter and it was on ridiculously easy, you might enjoy that. There's totally people that will enjoy that, but I'm the kind of person I want a challenge. I don't want a challenge that feels insurmountable. I want a challenge that I can get over, and I think that part of that is that if everything's so automated that you can't make mistakes, that challenge isn't there, and I get bored very quickly. So a lot of that, I think, is getting better and better. I'm not going to, again, in for a penny, for a pound here. I do think that on the pitch, PES is the better game. And I do think that by quite some distance. Like, I don't think FIFA gets close to how a shot feels in PES, and I think PES's passing's way better. Where FIFA really excels is Ultimate Team. Like, I would love to say career mode, but career mode this year they've basically added cutscenes. So when you buy a player, it goes to you can delegate this eventually once you get bored of it after the first time. But you can go and have a chat with like the first of all the manager. I think the manager of the team you want to buy from, and it's like a Mass Effect dialogue wheel, really. Like, right, I want to select. This is how much I'm going to offer you. And they come back to you. Oh, actually, I'm not really sure about that. We were looking for a bit more. And then you can counter offer, and it's just like a little back and forth. I just found it really cheesy and shit. Like, I found it like.
Do you get like renegade options and Paragon?
Not quite that much.
Punch someone in the face.
That would be great. Yeah. I mean, maybe. I don't know. One of the things like that I don't like about PES is that kind of locked in the past style thing where you get those weird cutscenes, and it's like I've never really been a fan of them, and I don't get why that's the thing. FIFA going, we should copy that. Let's do that. And I don't. I've spoken to people who quite enjoy them. I just don't. I like that it's a more of a managerial sim now, but I don't think that. I mean, like, there's this weird sort of almost lift music playing in the background while the preordained. You basically, there's 5 or 6, I think, maybe 8 tops preset faces for your manager, and they're all modelled on people that are in the game. Clearly, already they've just tweaked them. Like, one's Messi without a beard and looks a bit older. One's Arsene Wenger. Just him, essentially. And so in this, I've picked the youngest because it's the closest to me, so I'm basically Messi, and I'm sat there as a manager, and my lips are moving and no words are coming out because it's not voiced. And then there's a guy, Arsene Wenger, basically, who I'm chatting with, but he's not Arsenal's Arsene Wenger. This is just random manager bollocks, And it's to me, that's them yet again papering over the cracks of career mode. Like, career mode needs work, and they keep doing this where they just add this kind of gimmicky thing that will probably stay in there, but it papers over the cracks of what really needs doing. Whereas this year in Ultimate Team, they've properly gone to town. Like, Ultimate Team's the best it's ever been. It's fantastic. They've just added single player modes. There's just Ultimate Team is it like. There's an element to FIFA more than ever now where you spend probably half as much time playing football as you do in the menus. And I think that's been creeping maybe closer to 60-40 menus to gameplay. And you're either okay with that or you're not. And I'm fine with that because I love Ultimate Team,
Yeah. Well, before we move career mode.
Yeah.
I love playing it, but it very rarely changes. It very rarely changes, like especially from 17, from 16, there was literally barely anything that changed, and it was a bit disappointing. Is there any kind of improvements there?
No.
Is there any noticeable changes? Is it still the same?
There may be some minor tweaks, but like off the top of my head, without looking at my notes, I can't think of too much more. There will be small things, but I'm not standing here saying I have the answers. You should do this. I'm just saying you need to do something because, again, maybe it's shit luck. Maybe it's the dog running on the field shitting on my pitch again. But like I picked a career mode as Liverpool first match, Salah gets injured, out for 7 months. That seems to happen to me every single time I start a career mode for the first time in a new FIFA.
Yeah,
which makes me wonder if there is like a dice roll going on for your first match to get one. You know, but it's like it has to be fun, and like playing as Liverpool, I want those options because I picked them because of the speed of attack, you know, because of the skillfulness in their front line. Whether it's the sort of three you would expect, you know, the Coutinho, the Manes, the Firminos, or you know, you also back for a Sturridge and a Salah, and you know, I mean even Oxlade-Chamberlain now, but like immediately losing one of them for 7 months of in-game football is like, sure, realistic potentially, but like not fun. And I don't want to start again because I just spent ages setting my stuff up. It's maybe it's just my bad luck, but no, I'll be honest with you. Career mode used to be something I would play all year, and I would go through multiple seasons, change club all over the place. I played enough to review that, you know. Yeah, I played enough to be able to talk about it in the review, and I probably won't play it again because it just feels like it needs something to stop it feeling exactly the same as last year. But let's say, bar those cutscenes, which I don't like at all.
Yeah, fair enough. But
I should say, sorry, Chris.
No,
overall, I don't know if this is I've come clear. I mean, you can read the review. I gave it 8 out of 10. Excellent, really good. Like this is them getting back on track. I think. Like I was expecting PES to wipe the floor with it this year. I think it's actually a close run battle. I'd say personally, I still prefer PES because it plays better, but this year, FIFA's good enough on the pitch where it is, for me, an alternative. Whereas last year, after a while, I just stopped playing it because it was just, you know, whereas this year, like, no disrespect to Konami, but Ultimate Team is the mode. It was there first, if you know what I mean, in that respect. And like, Konami's My Club is chasing that in a different way. It's a different thing. Yeah. But now, Ultimate Team is a viable thing for me to play when I'm not playing PES. You know, I 50-50 split my time, which is, I think, a very big compliment toward FIFA.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I still haven't played the Switch version at the time of recording. I'm told by EA that we will be getting access to that this week. So maybe next time we chat, and obviously we'll write up and put some video up. But you know, they were very forthcoming. We got access to the review build very early. I think earlier than ever actually, because I'm pretty sure normally we get it a few days before it hits EA Access, but we had this. I mean, at the time of recording, the game's only officially out if you got like the Icon 3-day early kind of thing. We've had it for weeks, so fair fucks. Do you know what I mean? Like that makes you think they're confident, but you never really know. Not really.
Yeah. Well, we are, as a site, known for reviewing, you know, some of the smaller games or games you've never heard of. And there's one game I've never heard of, but I'm kind of, until today, until earlier on, I saw something on Twitter. Hob. Now, Gary.
Yeah.
You're playing Hob, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So what's it got going on? What's it got going on?
Don't make me laugh, because if I start coughing, that'll be me gone for 5 minutes.
Fuck, I don't know what the fuck that was. So Hob, what's it like?
It was gold.
Yeah. It's like it's an action adventure, similar to like old school Zelda, and it's just like full of puzzles, exploration, the odd fight. But I mean, it just looks really pretty. It's done by the guys who did Torchlight, and it's not a million miles away from that art style.
I can't remember Torchlight very well. I remember Torchlight 1, everyone adored it.
Yeah.
Critically acclaimed. Torchlight 2, the same, but it was gone as quick as it came. But I do remember everyone loving these games, and have they just been off doing this since then?
It looks that way.
It's weird that, right? That's a long time.
Yeah.
Because Torchlight 2 was on Xbox 360. No, was it?
No, Torchlight 1 was. Torchlight 2 was just PC.
Just PC, that's right.
Which I think is why it didn't do quite as well in the end.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. But this one, I really enjoyed it. I finished it earlier today.
Oh, you finished it, have you now?
Yeah.
How long is it? I mean, it's not a spoiler, but how long is it roughly?
About between 6 and 7 hours.
Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of endings as well.
Interesting.
Which, without spoilers, you can see both of them like pretty quickly. So, it's not a case of you have to replay the entire game if you want to see the other ending or anything like that.
Right. Because it didn't strike me as the kind of story that was going on that would be a branching narrative.
No,
if you know what I mean.
It's more of a, should we say, a Mass Effect 3 kind of deal.
You choose to kill someone or not, basically.
It's pretty much, it's that kind of thing.
Oh, okay, shit, sorry, I didn't mean to... That was a guess, I'm sorry.
No, it's not actually that.
Okay, good,
it's more just, it's that kind of idea.
It's binary.
That's what I mean, yeah. And it's... Because, I mean, the story is pretty much what you make of it, because there's no dialogue other than, like, the weird language that the robot speaks.
Did you find... I should say, if people are wondering, when I played a little bit of this, about an hour and a half. Did you find the weird language the alien robot speaks kind of oddly frightening?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's meant to be that way, whether it's supposed to be like,
no.
You don't know whether this guy's friend or foe kind of thing, or whether it's just this is what the language of this place sounds like. Because I mean, you don't really meet anyone. It's just you, animals, weird creatures, and this robot. And so the whole story is pretty much you following his gestures. He points in the direction that you're supposed to go, and you kind of get a sense of why. It's like he's pointing at this because it's going to open that door next to him or something like that. That's very simplistic, but it's that idea. And the whole thing's like that, and it's just full of puzzles, which some of them are massive as well. It's like an entire dungeon. Well, I call it a dungeon. It's not quite, but it's an entire thing is one giant puzzle. You just try to work out how you're supposed to get thing from A to B, or there's one involving like a moving platform which you get on. And you actually walk this platform around yourself, and you can get off at set points, and it'll power like a doorway or something like that, and you've got to work out.
Some of the puzzles I found across so far, there's something very satisfying about them. Like they feel very rewarding.
Yeah, because they're not. I mean, the taxing enough. It wasn't as difficult,
but but it just felt rewarding doing them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it's because you actually see it happening all the way through.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bits later on which like drop your jaw when it happens. It's amazing. And part of that's down to the design. It just occurred to me
what this reminds me of, Gaz. I don't know if you've played it though.
Go on.
Kind of reminds me of Rime.
I haven't played it, but I get you.
I prefer Hob to Rime, but then I know cause Chris loved Rime, if I remember correctly. Like, loved it.
Yeah.
I didn't quite fall for it that way, but I do. I think I kind of prefer how this looks. Weirdly,
yeah, I do. I think this one is such a gorgeous game. The level design is amazing. The creatures all look like alien, but they kind of look like they belong, if that makes sense, because the world is quite dreamlike and very fantastical.
Can I ask you a question about it? And if this is spoilery, just say it's spoilery.
Okay.
Do you get, because it's quite, this is an overused phrase, but I blame the cold, and I'm not in my right sane body and mind. It's quite Metroidvania-y, it seems to me so far, that you unlock skills and find stuff that enables you to perhaps access areas you couldn't originally. Do you get a power or ability that lets you clear the gunk stuff?
Yes.
Like you do, okay.
Well,
right,
sort of.
Okay, so it is sort of spoilery then.
A little bit, but yeah, there is a way to clear that gunk.
How about this? This is awful radio because no one's going to understand what I'm talking about. Do you ever get any kind of more mobility options? Because the one small criticism I had was that a lot of the platforming, or rather the jump platforming, felt like it was deliberately designed in a way to slow me down because I could never quite fully make a jump. I had to always make the jump and pull myself up.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's always there.
Okay.
There's never really...
very minor, but especially early on, it's like, why didn't you just make the jump a bit bigger or the block that I moved a bit bigger so I don't have to pull myself up? Because it's easy to make the jump, but you can't fully make it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wonder if it's just to kind of give a sense of weight to it,
scale,
like the movement.
Yeah.
So
fair.
You are this little guy who, I mean, for all we know, he was just some random dude in a cave until a robot woke him up. Yeah, so it's like maybe it's just the fact that he's not a superhuman. It's, he's going off on this quest, which
it's a weird as shit and intro.
Oh yeah,
it's quite dark. Like you're literally this little guy again, kind of like Ryan, like got a little red sort of blankie round him or her. I don't know actually.
I think it's
you're following this robot. Yeah, I think it is too. But you're following this robot for no apparent reason. You just are, because it's a game. And then you lose your arm.
Yep.
And robot dude carries you back and cuts his arm off and gives you his robot arm. And off you go. And then that's kind of your master sword, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. No, because you get the sword.
You do get a sword, but it's like that's the hook kind of thing for the game. And
yeah, your arm's the kind of upgradey thing. And
it is cool. I mean, you can use it in fights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Punching something in the face is pretty satisfying, especially when you knock it off a cliff as well.
Does it get harder?
Yeah.
Like the combat?
Yeah,
I mean, good, because I was worried about that.
Yeah, early on it's very easy, and I think it does lure you in, because some of the enemies later you do have to think about how to take... You can't just whack them until they die. You have to get around like the defences.
Using your rolls and stuff.
Yeah, I like that. They can hit each other as well, which is cool.
Oh, cool.
Because, yeah, you can kind of goad them into hitting each other. So, if you know one's quite a tough enemy, and you can get his mate to take him out, you might as well. You still get the experience, like the little green experience balls, you still get them from it. Either way.
Okay.
Chris doesn't sound too interested.
Oh no, I'm interested. I've not even looked at the trailer really. I just saw someone talking about it, so I've got no idea what it looks like.
Sorry for this game because, like, have you looked at the release calendar?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, ouch.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really gone out with much fanfare. Chris didn't know anything about it until today. And you write for God is a Geek, and you didn't know anything about it until now, and that kind of says a lot, because if you don't know about it...
It's especially weird, because I think this is a very Chris game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very Adam game, I think it's a very anyone game, but I mean, I think this is one that... Chris, have you seen any trailers or anything, Chris?
I'm just looking at it now, I've just Googled it. I've seen a load of images, it looks beautiful.
That's the thing, I mean, just the style alone... I think would be a kind of game that would make you go, I really want to see what this is.
Yeah.
But in fairness, that's how I feel about Songbringer, which I've had downloaded now for when did you review that? 2-3 weeks ago? Longer?
2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
So since then, I've had it as well.
Yeah.
And I've been intending to do just a short 15 minutes of game video on it, and
yes,
I just haven't been able to. So it's not. I mean, we could do probably a 6-hour podcast on the insanity right now. I mean, the stuff we can't talk about and the stuff that's still yet to come. This is, it's just, I don't know. I'd hate to think, I mean, obviously you finished it and Gary, you'll have a review up on God is a Geek. I'd hate to think, and don't answer, or do, up to you entirely. I'd hate to think this is a game that gets kind of 9 out of 10s and everyone goes, well, I can't really grab it because, what's coming. Like, FIFA's out this week, Cuphead's out this week, Forza next week, Mordor, Shadow of War the week after, or the week after. Is that next week? I'm not sure.
2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, it seems. I don't know. And the other thing is as well, and I certainly can't have a go at them for this. Like the code they sent over, the codes they sent over, they weren't shy about sending us enough to get playing. They're like, no embargo, game's out. So and so. Whatever. I think it's this week, isn't it?
It came out
the game's
today.
coming out. Oh, it's out today,
Yeah.
isn't it? There you go. But obviously we've been playing it prior to that, and so there's no embargo. And like that's great because that's them saying play the game at your leisure. Here it is before release. Review it when you're ready. And I hate to think that kind of thing doesn't work for them.
Yeah,
you'd love that.
Yeah.
You'd love, I don't know. Well, especially Bethesda, because everyone knows their policies, and we don't have to break any NDAs to say this. But you'd love a Bethesda to say, right, well, Wolfenstein's out next week. Here's your copy of it. We'd far prefer it if you put a review up near the the release date. But listen, you review it at leisure. That's your job. And I feel like that sort of stuff would be rewarded. I mean, it sounds like you do like it, Gary.
Oh yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's going out essentially to die, really, because it's going out the week of FIFA, and I know it's not the same people that are going to buy it, but it is going to affect it. Because FIFA is going to be dominating everything this week. It's going to be everywhere. Probably next week as well. And then after that, you've got week after week of massive release. And this game's just going to get kind of abandoned. It'll probably sell when it hits sales. But by then, it's kind of like, it's too late. It could have done with a bit of a boost at the start. And it's a bit of a shame that I don't think it's going to get that.
No,
sounds like it's just going to get dunked on.
Yeah.
Speaking of dunks, NBA. In all seriousness, though, go and play Hob because it sounds amazing. Yeah. But NBA 2K18. Now, I didn't get to talk about it last week, so I'm very excited because I know Adam, you played it.
Yeah, I played it.
And general opinion that I adore the gameplay. The gameplay is just perfection, and the kind of presentation of the games is fantastic, and just generally the game is great. But there are some big issues, little issues, depending on how you fall on certain things with like microtransactions for one. And 2K's kind of take on story modes. Now, one I was really surprised because I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
I was deadly serious.
I haven't really read any reviews, so I don't know what people think about it. But for me, the story mode for the last year it was all right. It was all right. The year before it was pretty terrible, which was like one of the first games I did for the website. But now. The story mode, it's there. It's not mass. It is kind of. It does play quite a big role in my career mode, but it takes a back seat a lot of the time because a lot of the time you spent trying to level up, which again we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
But for me, story mode, like I can't stand the guys, the actors, especially.
That's amazing. This is my opinions are so awesome.
I know, yeah. Well, especially his roommate. She annoys the living shit out of me. I can't get on with her. She just really winds me up. And his agent's just like, it's just like they've taken every kind of stereotype.
It's cliches, as cliche ridden. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But just the randomness, like when there's like certain games where you'll finish a game and then the cutscene will come on and then the bloody cleaners beatboxing in the back and you're all joining in it. And I get that there's a lot of kind of bants and we're all mates and there's that kind of teammate vibe, but it just feels really kind of forced. And then because like they've got like actual NBA players like stood in the background with these scenes and they don't talk, they look like robots. Like I'm playing for the Boston Celtics and like Al Horford, the centre, stood at the back and he's just moving side to side and it looks really uncomfortable. Like he'd never do that because he's like a gentle giant. Right. So it just feels a bit weird. So the story mode, I can't get on with it, and I know you kind of really liked it.
Listen, like this is good. I like this. I love. I haven't read reviews either. But, I I didn't even read yours until after I'd written my own, because I'm reviewing it somewhere else, obviously. A non-rival publication, I should say.
Yeah.
So, I think everyone's the same. I don't think anyone wants to read opinions of it until they've written their own down.
No, no.
So I think we just had a chat in our Slack channel, and I was quite surprised. I thought you were joking. When you were like, I hate it, I thought you were saying that in a funny way. Like, I think, like, I hate it. I hate it. Do you know how, you imagine, oh man, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's so good, I can't stand it. I didn't realise you meant, no, I can't stand it. I fucking can't stand it. I was reading it, I can't stand it. It's so good, like an almost excited child almost. I can't stand it. It's so good. No. I don't know. I think it's some of the best voice acting I've ever heard in a video game. Like, I felt like they got the actors in the same room and actually had them do the dialogue in the studio together, rather than like, right, these are your lines, record them, we'll put them together in the production side of things. Yeah. I felt like they were actually in the same room. And I'm guessing you've seen this. Everyone's seen White Men Can't Jump, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you not get the vibe of that from it? Because that's what I was getting from it. And like, I'm sure there's, listen, nowadays a movie that was made that long ago, there's probably some problematic shit in it that we shouldn't like it anymore. But like, I've looked back at, I haven't seen it for years, that movie as a real good movie, a real fun time. Stupid as shit in places, but like, that's kind of, I really liked how stupid because you played DJ. It didn't. Unfortunately, I was a bit gutted because after realising what this game was about, I called my character Microtransactions, and unfortunately it just was like Microtransactions as DJ. I was like, shit, okay, because I thought that'd be great if that popped up the whole game. It doesn't. But you're DJ, and I've forgotten her name. I want to say it's B or something, isn't it?
Tasty, isn't it? Tasty.
It might be. I actually can't remember her name, but that's again partly the cold and the drugs. But like, I dug how sort of dopey they were. I just like the two of them they're such young idiot kids. Like, and that he's caught a break because of his talent. And I don't know. Maybe I'm a soppy old bastard, but I don't know. I bought into it. And I just enjoyed it. Well, for a while, because that game doesn't want you to enjoy it. So
let's get on to, because this is it. It's like when you're playing it. It's some of the. I'm not going to say the best ever, because different games playing in different years at different times.
Yeah,
really. But it is phenomenal. Like as a basketball game, they've completely overhauled movement. It's kind of very natural and very specific to certain players. The shootings, like, I mean, it is different, a lot different from last year's, and it is it's very tricky to get on with if you're familiar with a certain style.
It's not NBA Jam, is it?
No, it's very, very realistic to the sport. There's all variables that have to be in place for you to be able to drop that shot. But you put that to one side, and then you get onto the point of the My Career mode, which is the leveling up, and it's called 0 to 99 or 60 to 99
or something.
Road to 99, yeah. Obviously, that means your goal as a player is to get to be the best player in the game. Better than LeBron.
60, it's worth saying.
You start at 60, and so you've got to level up. And there's obviously all different ways to level up: by scoring points, by making rebounds, by playing longer, by going to the gym, by taking part in these little basketball competitions all over the neighbourhood, all that kind of thing. But the rate in which it happens is very, very slow. I played for about 10, 15, 20 games of my career, and I'd levelled up barely one.
I was going to say, did you get even one up? Because I think that would have been good if you did.
I think unless you've got the Legendary Edition, or you're spending money on virtual currency, you ain't ever going to get higher than 70 in a single playthrough of a season. I think it's impossible, and it kind of forces you to spend that money, and it's such a shame, because it feels like one of the mobile games where you're kind of duped into getting it, and then realising you have to spend money to progress. And there's microtransactions, they exist in a lot of current games, and sometimes they're, it doesn't matter if they're there, you don't have to use them, it won't really affect it. Other times like this, it 100% affects how good you can get. And it does affect you, because that level, when you go, because the main mode in the neighbourhood is the kind of proving grounds where it's 2-on-2, 3-on-3 games with people around the world. And for a long time, you see them at like they're all 62, and then there's the occasional ones that are like on level 80 and stuff. And it's insane. Like if they've not spent their money, they have put God knows how many hours.
They've played nothing but that since it came out.
Exactly.
And even then, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it would be possible. This has not been out that long.
I don't know if it would. I mean, it obviously leveling up gets harder the more you level up, so it would be even longer from one level to the next.
Disappointing. So I can't speak for God as a Geek on the whole, or I can, but I won't on this one because we're all different people with different opinions. I don't like microtransactions. I don't like microtransactions in a full price game. I'm not. But I'm no voice that can stop it happening, and that's business. We can't stop it happening unless we choose to say, I'm not buying your game with that in it. So given that most people aren't going to do that because they want to play new games, the issue sort of morphs a little bit from like, well, we don't have any choice to accept it other than not buying it, which, as I say, is an ideal kind of, desert island. We're all, a utopia, but it's not going to happen. Sales of games prove it's not going to happen. It should. That's the way you do it. You vote with your wallet, you vote with your heart, and you say, I'm not doing this. But as I say, not going to happen. So with that massive caveat, before anyone starts having to go, oh, Adam says we've got to accept it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we have accepted it. You have to, all you can say is that a game, if it's going to have microtransactions, I can't get that out of my... If a game is going to have them in it, it should not ever affect the actual game. So, if you ever feel inclined to buy, microtransactions, then it has been designed that way. This game, whether it's 2K, whether it's Visual Concepts, has specifically, purposefully been reduced to a grind to piss you off, to make you pay. It has. I can't prove that. I'm not making any slanderous accusations. This is purely my opinion. I don't see a way in which that's not the case. It's been deliberately reduced to a grind, and the real shame of that is how good it would have been if it wasn't. It has the microtransactions have impacted the game, and that should never happen.
There's always kind of been, something that does this with 2K games.
Well, NBA games have been their games have been heading this way, haven't they?
Yeah,
like gradually creeping over the years.
I mean, I mean, the kind of 2K, it was the servers which were the issue for a long time, and then this year the servers are quite a lot better. I got into a lot of games very quickly, but it's now this has kind of taken over it a bit, and it kind of doesn't ruin the. Well, it depends how much you bother by. I guess. Me,
Chris, because I'm not going to buy stuff. I'm just not. Like I won't do it. Yeah. From a moral standpoint, I will stop playing first. Like I look at it and I saw. I see they start you off with 1,000 VC, which is the in-game currency, and so I put like 4, maybe 5 points into my player, and I stayed at 60, and I'm like, well, fuck. Okay, let's carry on, and then you realise how little VC you get or how long it will take, and at some point you just go, nah. At some point you either accept the grind, you buy VC, or you stop playing. And for me, it was C. I was like, this is not. And the frustrating thing on top of that is that, like you say, you can go and play against 60 rated players, but if you're not playing against 60 rated players, if you're playing like in the big matches, so to speak, you're playing against high rated players, aren't you? Which means you are. It's like playing FIFA online, playing Bolton against Real Madrid. Like, there's only one person playing that's going to have a good time with that, and it ain't the guy playing as Bolton, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like playing a 60-rated team against a 90-rated team. There's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a near insurmountable challenge, and they may change it. There's been a lot of furore around this. Another site put up a review, and there's all that stuff. And I don't really want to get into that because it's not our place to comment on what other sites do. But they may change it. They may listen to. I hope they listen to feedback.
I mean, outside of the the like my career mode.
Yeah.
All the other modes are.
We should say that's one mode. That's one mode in a big game.
Yeah,
it's still a very good game.
I mean, it's kind of like the main mode, but then the other kind of modes, which are like they're 2K's version of Ultimate Team, which is my team, which is also like it's excellent. Like you've got your typical, get your cards, get your packs, get better players, get them to gel, take part in single kind of modes and stuff like that. But they've added like kind of some new modes in this and made it kind of like one's kind of like fantasy team where you get a salary cap and then you have to buy players within that salary cap to fit in your team, and then you can take that team online. And then the other mode, which I forgot what it's called, packs and playoffs, I think, which is like you'll take part in individual games where you'll be able to pick like 2 players from 5 set packs, and then you'll take them into a match, play that game, and then that's it. You can play that game mode again, but you have to pick new cards, that kind of thing. So, we've done a lot with that. The My League is the best mode in my opinion, which is just pure basketball. You get to take on your team of your choice from the NBA from the start of the season or from the start of the off season. So you get to be involved in the draft and kind of trades before the season starts, that kind of thing. You've got the chance, you get the choice to relocate a team, give them a different name, and there's like expanded leagues where you get to create your own teams and stuff. There's a hell of a lot that goes into it. But
we didn't even talk about how it looks. I mean, this is genuinely the only game where people would walk through your lounge and go, "Oh, you're watching the basketball?" No, it's a game, and they would genuinely go, "Wow." Which actually, and not to send Gary to sleep because I don't think you're not really a sports fan, I guess.
Not a massive sports fan, but
okay.
I'm enjoying listening. This is good.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hopefully the listeners are, because it's a very sporty podcast. But I am intrigued because I know obviously we don't get all sports games as early as we got FIFA. We didn't that long ago get NBA Live 18, EA's, and I'm obviously review incoming from you, Chris. But
yes,
while we're talking about basketball, I am intrigued because that was the original game I loved when I first started. NBA Live. Do you remember the holographic PS1 box?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that, Gaz?
Yeah.
Like that, not holographic. What's it called? Where they're like where you tilt them.
Oh,
it was like a shiny cover that if you tilted it, like the ball.
Yeah.
Is it holographic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still got that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's 2 images in one.
Yeah, that's the
thing.
one. Like,
yeah.
and you
I know what you mean.
Change it and it changes. I mean, that's totally irrelevant. Sorry, I don't know why. Yeah, but have you played much of Live? Is it?
Yeah, I've played quite a lot since the review. So since it's been updated from the kind of.
So there you go. I didn't even think you had reviewed it yet. That's just how ill I am.
No, I'm pretty heavily into it. So I've played quite a lot of and comparing.
Is it like FIFA and Pairs? Are they two good games but different games? Because
no.
Okay.
No. Well, I don't know. It depends which is your favourite between FIFA and PES. I would definitely say to NBA 2K is miles better.
Okay.
But that's not to kind of put down NBA Live. The last one was incredibly disappointing. This has been improved tenfold. It's a good basketball game. There's no denying that. But it's not. It's either very easy or very challenging. Between it's got like four difficulty levels. There's like rookie, pro, something else, and then the hardest. So if going from pro to like all-star, I think it is a significant change. But it's a good kind of change because the all-star kind of takes into account certain players' play styles, not to the kind of the amount 2K does, but as a game to control, it's fine. Shooting's a lot easier in NBA Live, almost kind of arcadey, which is fine or it isn't, depending on what you want out of the game. But it's clearly and visually it's just not the same game, and the modes are very kind of weak. They've got the kind of their version of my career, but it's it's all right. It's not great. And then you've got other bits and pieces. There is the women's NBA, which is quite cool. Like they did with EA and the women's football. They've introduced the WNBA, which is a nice addition, but it's still not 2K. However, they don't really have anything holding it back to the point, like with microtransactions and stuff. But they've got their own Ultimate Team as well. The two different games, two clear varieties of basketball games. So it depends on what you want out of it. But I think 2K will dominate because that's been the one that's dominated for a long time.
Yeah.
Much like FIFA may not be as good a game as PES, but people still play FIFA. But I genuinely think 2K is a better basketball game. But to kind of switch things up a bit, literally. There's quite a bit come out on Switch, and guys, I've got Switch now, very happy about that. And I've been playing on Zelda.
What's the general impressions of the system? Because I know, when was it? January or February we went down to London? Hammersmith? When did we go down there together?
That was very early on in the year.
It was very cold.
Feb or January.
It was very cold, because I remember pointing out, like, I wish I had your coat on and not mine, because I was quite cold.
It was.
Sexy, but cold.
Yeah.
Let it never be said, Adam Cook is not a man that prefers to look good rather than wrap up warm. That's that gif of me wanking off a horse, a cow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. Well, my impressions of the Switch originally were like 5 minutes on Zelda and wanking off a cow.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's literally what everyone feels.
It's a beautiful little console, like really, really nice.
It's such a shame you can't use wanking off a cow as the title of this episode.
No. I've already got it, mate. Okay. It's microtransactions. Okay. So, yeah. But, no, the console's gorgeous. It looks nice. It's kind of the transition from picking it out of the kind of dock to playing it in your hands is really just smooth. I prefer using it on a telly. But that's not to say that holding it in your hands isn't like. It's amazing to think that this isn't like we've all played a Vita, we've all kind of played a DS. The Switch. It sounds silly, but it looks like a console in your hands. Like the visual fidelity is incredible, and like playing Zelda, like I've heard no end about Zelda throughout the year, and it's been a game I've just been desperate to play, and now I've finally played it. Like I completely see what the fuss is about. I'm not that far into it because of review games and stuff, but I've played enough to kind of understand how. Because
X-God is geeking now for videogamer.com. Colin Mahern, he was like, listen, like he was like, I know you gave it 10 out of 10. And he said to me, "This is I might regret saying this because the cold medicine." And he said, "But is it really is it that good then? It's really that good? I'm finally going to sit down and play it." It's like, no, it's fucking it's game of the year, mate. And listen, then he come back to me and said, you know his way, how he talks, and he said that it was it's good. He was a bit non-committal, and then obviously he said it. Shit, absolutely awful game. I can't believe it. All these game journalists gave it 10 out of 10. They're all wrong. I hate everything about Zelda. And I'm not saying you should go and tell him that I said that, but I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
Oh man, well let's not call a spade a small shovel here. Switch.
He still listens, Hi, Colin.
Yeah, I know he does. No, that was for you, mate. But it's just good. It's great. Like I've not done loads, so again, I've not seen everything. Nowhere near seeing like a percentage of 1% of it. But
no,
yeah, the kind of just the controls. I really like the different weapons controls and switching between your weapons, and it's just all kind of fits and flows really well. There's no clunky menus. The slate's really kind of cool the way that's used in there, and I'm just baby steps at the minute, but I'm getting there. And I've played Super Mario and Rabbids, which is also really, really cool. I didn't really know how it would play because I know it's been compared to XCOM games like that, but it's still a Mario game. It's really weird because it's got a really kind of dry humour to it, which it's not typical Mario, and I think that's the kind of Rabbids Ubisoft side to it, which I really like. But in terms of like the gameplay, it's just so cool. Like I love those kind of turn-based games as it is, and then to play one as
got
like
to the bit where they swear yet.
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Because I thought more would be made of this. Because it's all right. So okay, it's a Ubisoft game. Okay, it's made by them. It's published by them. But it is kind of the hook is that it's Mario character. It's a Mario game. That's why it's selling. So it's not selling well because it's a Rabbids game. So there's a bit where I've forgotten his name. The little like Hoover thing you play. I can't think what his bloody name is. The character you actually control. Whatever his name is, Hoover Boy. Like he says stuff obviously now and again, and at one point in the game he comes up with like asterisk star asterisk exclamation mark. Now although it's not saying fuck, that's what it's saying. That's what that means when you see like 4 stars or whatever asterisks or and hashtag and like in 4 of them that's an expletive. It's just not spelled out. And that amazes me. Like this is a Mario game, and like some of the stuff in here, it's like. Oh, what did Nintendo play it? Or did they just go, yeah, no, okay. And this coupled with what you've told me about Mario Odyssey, go and watch the video, by the way, on GodIsAGeek.com's YouTube channel, youtube.com/GodIsAGeek, because there's 10 minutes of new Mario footage, and my God, that game looks good. But like, the shit Nintendo are doing, it's fantastic. It's like, they finally seem to have been a little bit more chill. Like, for all the years where they've been like, no, like, we'll take everything down, And I know they still do that a little bit, but like, even the Metroid remake, we soon realised there was a reason they took it down because they were making a remake. Which, regardless of whether you agree or disagree with that, like, the stuff Nintendo are doing now, it's like, it feels like they've suddenly found their chill.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Mario can be in a game where there's, basically swear words asterisked out and,
Yeah,
I think they've just kind of they've found like where everyone else is. They've caught up. I think
they're catching up.
Yeah. But I really want to Switch though. I really want one.
What's stopping you? Because I know you bought a PC, so
well, that's probably it. I don't.
Right, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
fair point.
I mean, I may crumble if there's some like Black Friday deals or something like something.
I mean, surely Mario's going to really push you to close the breaking point, right?
Mario's one that I really want. Zelda, now, cause I've played a little bit at a friend's, played roughly about 20 minutes just messing around in the world, and it's bloody, it's so good. I want that game, and Mario looks amazing. I've watched, obviously, the footage that we've put up, and it looks so good. It looks like Mario is always going to be kind of the king of platformers, really, and he's still there. After all these years, he still just
he's getting his nipples out now, Gaz.
Sorry,
he's getting his nipples out now.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he's got a fine pair of nipples.
Nintendo have got Mario's nipples out now.
It's going for the Tom Selleck look.
They just don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
nipples and.
The only worry I have about the Switch, not to turn this into a negative, because it's nice to be positive about Nintendo, because God knows there was enough negative for a long time there. So this year, though, you got new Zelda, new Mario, okay? Where do they go? Because I don't think they're going to start putting out a new one of those every year.
No.
They've just put Mario Kart 8 out again, so they don't think you're going to get another Mario Kart for at least 2 years, if there is.
I can see a Mario Party.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that franchise has kind of had its ups and downs, but the Switch is the perfect place for it.
I mean, we've got Metroid.
When's Xenoblade out? Next year?
No, that's this year.
Yes.
This year, right.
December?
Yeah, I think it's December.
So you've got, along the later down in the horizon, you've got a Metroid 4.
Yeah.
I think that's quite some way off. I would be surprised if that was 2018.
Well, they've got the Pokemon one, which, again, is a fair while off, but...
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but still, they're in the works. I don't want them to be like a Zelda in the works, where they just get pushed back and pushed back and pushed back.
You've had Splatoon as well, I forget. You've had that.
Yeah,
you've got Yoshi and Kirby next year.
True.
Isn't there?
Yep. True.
Well, I think Nintendo know what they're doing. I think.
They've been very bright this year. They've had a tentpole release every month since the thing came out.
Yeah.
That may not have appealed to everyone, but they have had it. Like next month is Mario. This month's Pokken.
Yeah.
With the success that it's had, I think you'll have third parties wanting in as well.
I mean, fuck me if Rockstar are saying they were putting a game out on Switch.
Fucking hell.
Then people have realised.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm also, like, my mum, bless her, she's giving me... she's getting me Mario Kart. No, she's getting me Mario Kart, because they're quite pricey, so she's offered to, So I was like, brilliant. Because Mario Kart, I completely missed that out on the Wii U. And
what a magical time you're having. That sounded sarcastic, and it wasn't.
No,
it was just the cup like that. To replay Mario Kart 8 for the first time again, Chris. Oh
yeah, man.
my!
Well, this is it.
Very, very good.
I think like throughout the history, Mario Kart has been like Mario Kart Double Dash. I've probably put in at least 300 to 400 hours on that.
Fuck.
And that was mainly. I used to go on my mate's house every night, about 4 times a week for about 3 years, like religiously. And we used to just play Double Dash at like 12 at night, just for like hours. And then I played it on my own GameCube, and I was obsessed with it. I remember every kind of track, every turn, every kind of moment to drift to get maximum kind of mileage out of it. It was just, I knew it off like the back of my hand.
Sorry, I just burst out with excitement because I realised the game they haven't yet announced that they need to announce. Sorry,
go for it. Go on.
Animal Crossing.
Yes.
that's
that.
got to be.
I'm literally looking at my amiibo shelf, lads. I'm not going to lie to you. I see a lot of Mario ones. There's the Splatoon girls. They've had Street Fighter. Bayonetta's up there. I don't think that's going to happen. There's Bowser. Nope, that's a South Park figurine. No. There's Yoshi. No, you said Yoshi.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm going to have to go off mic. Yeah, there's a load of Animal Crossing ones. Oh, Star Fox. I don't know that they would touch that again, though, for a while. Do you know the game I want on Switch? Mario Maker.
Oh, yeah. I was just thinking, because I've not played that.
I really want that to come to Switch.
It's really good, and I played a lot of that on the Wii U. And
so that's the reason my Wii U's not packed away yet.
Yeah.
I really want that, and there's no reason they can't. They just have to do the touchscreen thing you hold. You know.
Does it have a mic on the Switch? On the actual handheld, like, or anything?
Yes.
Because that was a part of the Wii U version as well, and you could put your own sounds into it.
Does it have a mic? Yes, I think it has a mic. But then even if not, you could just use a Nintendo app now. They've released it. You know, that's how you do voice chat.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ. But it's an option, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, let's not go there. Let's keep this positive.
Let's keep it. Yeah, absolutely. Pick me.
Oh yeah,
you know.
I
don't say this often because I'm not a huge fan of remasters, but the utter failure that the Wii U became, I don't know that there'll be many that will begrudge them re-releasing Bayonetta 2, Pikmin 3, Mario Maker, The Wonderful 101, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I don't know that there are many people that would resent them doing that. They've done it with Pokken, they've done it with Mario Kart. You wouldn't blame them. Like, they didn't sell much, but those games are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Wii U was actually a really good console. It was it just died a death.
No one bought it.
Yeah, and it's a shame. But now that it's got this audience, why not?
I'd quite like a WarioWare.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Because 1-2 Switch felt like that's what it was trying to be, but it didn't. It just didn't.
Yeah,
but
that's
an
the
actual
weird
good
thing.
WarioWare.
I thought 1-2 Switch could have just been a WarioWare game if they just changed it up a bit.
It's too straight-faced. It takes itself too seriously. It's not got that. But then saying that, what was the Wario? Because I reviewed it for God as a Geek. What was the Wario game on Wii U? Oh, what was it called? That wasn't great.
I don't remember the one on the Wii U.
It wasn't an unqualified. Yeah, there was. I don't think what the hell it was called. I reviewed it. It was sort of mid-cycle for the Wii U because there was, like again, it's not. It wasn't a home run. Like Mario Tennis was shite on Wii U. It was really empty game. Like it felt like I'm throwing them out, but I don't know. I'm looking at Amiibo again.
Was it a WarioWare game?
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Vamp and I'll find it.
Smooth Moves.
Might have been
WarioWare Smooth Moves. I'm seeing for Wii U.
I will. If I type that, this is how bad it. I've typed God is a Geek, and if it comes up with my name, well, it's apparently not on Google. Probably should sort our SEO.
There'll be people listening shouting it out.
Yeah, probably.
No, it's not. Smooth Moves was the Wii game.
Oh, Game and Wario?
Yeah, that sounds more familiar.
Yeah.
I'm
looking it up myself to try to find it.
Game and Wario, was that it? Yeah, it might have been Game and Wario. Hurry up, my internet's shite. I'm trying to load up. Will it have my? This is exciting for the listener. It was Game and Wario. Game and Wario review. Adam Cook, June 21st, near my birthday, 2013, and I gave it a 6.
Ooh.
That's strange. That was the WarioWare franchise was so good at the start. I mean, it was one of the first games I got on the DS.
It was brilliant on DS. There's no question. Yeah. Well, there you go. Switch is good. Everyone likes the Switch. It seems really.
Yeah.
To do, And before we go, I also want to talk about Severed, because I know that's just come out on the Switch, hasn't it?
I think I want to talk about this because I find it interesting that this game was originally a Vita game, but it was a Vita game with touch controls only, and it was like the Vita was not it was a moderately well supported platform with little, the Sony, the people who forgot to support it.
Yeah,
and I heard it was a great game, Eric, but unfortunately, like I didn't try it at the time. I didn't have the time at the time. And I think it came to iOS and still didn't have time. When it came to Switch, I was like, I'm going to have a look at this game. Okay, it's interesting because it's still just a touch control game only. So it's one I wanted. I'd love to put a video of it out, but I can't because there's no way that I've got of recording undocked Switch footage. I don't think many people have. I mean, there are ways, but
yeah.
It's really cool. It's got loads of it's got interesting combat. Like the enemies change the way it is tapping and swiping. But it's this sort of dungeon crawling game with a story, and you upgrade stuff by collecting monster parts. And if you're after an interesting Switch game, again, you can only play it in handheld because you need the touchscreen. I cannot recommend it enough. It's fantastic. Yeah, everyone knew that already, but I just wanted to say I agree with them.
Is it by the guys who did Guacamelee? Is it Drink
That's
Box,
right.
Is it?
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, see, Guacamelee was ace.
Absolutely brilliant game.
Both on Vita and
all
PS4,
7 times it was released. It was great.
Yeah,
but Severed, it's a bit different, and I feel bad for them because they are a really good developer, but putting a game out that's touch control only on the Vita, meaning you can't just nice and easily port it to PC where there's a big audience or bring it onto the new consoles because you can't play on PS4, you can play it on Xbox One. Switch is the ideal platform for it, but it's also kind of the only platform for it after iOS. But
yeah. But yes, so Switch. We'll end on a positive. There's a we want to talk about Steam or Dig too.
I think there's over 500 games available on Switch very very soon.
Really?
Wow. A lot of them, of course, are games like Severed that have been released before, or I'm literally trying to think on my feet now, like Rayman Legends. Not a new game, but it's on Switch. Yeah, so there's a lot of Switch games. Binding of Isaac, that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's kind of hope it stays that way because after playing it and getting to see it more, I really kind of hope it works for them. And there's a lot of games coming out over the next few years that hopefully will break it or make it. Hopefully make it. Hopefully not break it. Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys, and thanks for listening to us. And you can read up all the reviews for all these games over the next few days. FIFA 18's up there, 2K's up there, Hob will be up there. Divinity
What's
Original
Cuphead
Sin 2.
We don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, Cuphead. Yeah, well.
Moving on.
Xbox. Oh yeah, that's dull. That's really slipped in a negative.
Yeah, it's wait to bring it down.
If there's one thing you can rely on, it's either my irritability or that I'll bring it down. So I talk about my heart attack again. That usually.
Yeah. But you can follow Adam on Twitter at GMSF. You can follow Gary at BlueFury47. You can follow me at FirstAvenger83. And you can follow the Geek at God is a Geek. And you can go on Patreon and support us because we've the amount of events we've been to. I mean, there's the Shadow of War. That's on the site now.
4K video.
South Park.
4K.
Yeah.
Actual 4K that I didn't nearly smash my computer to pieces over at all.
Well, you can watch that. There's a interesting battle in that. We've got South Park, Wolfenstein's. Oh God, what else?
There's more coming.
Mario Odyssey, and there's loads more. So. It's certainly
I've got an SSD hard drive en route to me with 4 hours of an unreleased game coming up.
Yeah,
can't say what it is, but
it's
unreleased.
We've still got to get Nicola to do the Evil Within.
Yeah, she thinks we've all forgotten.
Yeah, we're going to keep badgering on that. Get her to play that.
In fact, tweet her at wavy_gravy with an E, and tell her to get on it because we want to see her squeal again. On video playing a game.
Chris.
On video playing a game, all right? So yeah, thanks for listening, guys,
Jesus.
and thanks for joining. And everyone, have a very, very happy week.
Everything I've said means nothing. I'm ill. You have nothing on me, Copper.